Okay, so brace yourself for impact. This is so ridiculous and it's so stupid and it's so dumb, but really this is the world that we're living in. So basically, I was in a half jesting mood, I was in a half humoristic mood, and I wasn't really serious about it when I googled analyze your poop app. But brace yourself, there is actually an app or several apps that can analyze your stools, as in your shit, analyzing your shit. So basically, you have people out there training hard, working hard to get in really good shape, and then they bend over backwards and they take a photo of their shit in the toilet and then run it through some sort of a system to analyze their stools to see if they're eating well, to see if the stools have a proper shape or whatnot. It's really ridiculous and it's really childish, but it's really important as well when it comes to persuasion. Because if you think about it, if you're a fitness dude, if you're a fitness bro, and you do your very best to stay in shape, you want to stay in shape, you want to stay in the best possible shape. So you're counting calories, you're having your blood work done, you're you're wearing one of these rings or not wristbands, but armbands, and you're tracking metrics. And you're also using these stool charts to analyze samples of your leavings. It's really horrendous and it's really dumb. Especially when you consider that, you just think about this. So for the average gym bro, excuse me, not for the average gym bro, but for the extreme gym bro, you have photos of him flexing in the gym, displaying his six pack to impress other dudes. He thinks he's impressing the ladies, all the girls that he want to bang, but really he's just impressing those fat slobs who want to get in shape. That's who he's impressing. He ain't impressing me. He's probably not impressing you either. And then he bends over backwards and he literally takes photos of his shit in the toilet. And so think about that camera roll of his. What does it contain? It contains photos of his stools, of his leavings, and it also contains photos of his six pack. That's not normal. These people are sick. These people are twisted. And so the point that I'm making here really is, what sort of a persuasion is someone has somebody fallen victim to in order to probably pay for any of these apps and pay for the analysis of their own stools when they really don't need it? Because for most people, it's enough to simply focus on the basics. What are the basics of proper health? Well, you know, good sleep, decent sleep, eliminating stress, eating healthy, exercising and training probably daily, or at the very least every other day or 5 or 6 times a week, whatever. And then do that, wash, rinse, repeat. And, eat a protein rich diet, cut down on booze, sugar, processed foods, etc., etc. You don't need to go to the extreme. And so the point that I'm making here from a persuasion perspective is really, what can you do? Or excuse me, what have these people done? How have they sold themselves on having to download such an app and pay for it? And how can you apply that way of thinking in your business? How can you make people so obsessed with buying your products and or your services that they actually go to the extremes, such as these gym bros, when they're downloading these shit apps? Really, because that's what they are. You see, this is persuasion 101. And it's also persuasion, well, excuse me, I meant to say it's also sales 101. Persuasion 101, sales 101, and literally the very, I'm struggling to find the words that I'm looking for, but it's literally the very definition of people selling themselves on going to the extremes to accomplish one of their goals. And so, if you can manage to sell your clients on going to the extremes to reach their goals, then you could probably sell them on buying from you, even if you have extremely high prices. Just think about that. There's probably people out there who pay thousands of dollars to have their shit analyzed by people. And so I'll leave you with that. If you can instill the same sort of desire in your clients and in your market, then you will get a long way. Get subscribed. Excuse me. Get subscribed to my email list to learn more. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you're watching or listening to this, and I'll see you there.